Good afternoon, I am Rolene Marks or Occupier Barbie, and this is the Israel Brief, proudly brought to you by Lay of the Land. And you can follow our original content and articles on www.layoftheland.online. That's www.layoftheland.online, or like and follow us on Facebook at Lay of the Land. So let's get to it. Let's see what is making the big news in Israel today, and quite a historical day as Prime Minister Netanyahu jets into the African country of Chad, and in a matter of 7 hours, it was a lightning visit, but one that is quite historical because the two countries re-established diplomatic ties formally after 47 years. And as Prime Minister Netanyahu said today, this is helping to create major inroads into the Muslim world, and brings to a total some 160 countries around the world that Israel has formal diplomatic ties with. So a historic day, one of the biggest countries in Africa, and it just goes to show that the African continent is opening up more and more to the state of Israel, and more countries are recognizing the fact that relations with Israel are extremely beneficial. We are a country and a continent with very similar narratives. I mean, if you really think about it, Jews, like many Africans on the continent, have experienced exile, colonialism, persecution, and also the return to homelands and liberation. So it's a similar narrative, and also many African countries recognize the fact that they can really benefit from some of the solutions that Israel has to offer in agriculture, in cyber, in security, in medicine, and a whole host of other solutions. So really a massive step forward with relations between Israel and the African continent today. Now, very, very seriously, or on a more serious note, Israel today reportedly, and this is according to Syrian media, reportedly struck targets in Syria. This is extremely rare to be done during the day. The IDF are not commenting on it, but what we do know is that the Iron Dome battery system did intercept a rocket coming in from Syria today. And what we don't know for sure, whether or not it was retaliatory or whether or not it was part of the Syrian anti-missile and was headed towards very, very dense populations in Syria. It was intercepted, it was shot down, and we continue to be very concerned with the situation in Syria because the civil war, the vacuums that it has created, the turmoil that it has created, has allowed for Iran to gain a footprint into the country, and we seem to be pushing the Iranians back as much as possible because they are taking advantage of the situation in Syria to launch different kinds of attacks on the state of Israel, and we remain ever vigilant. And the last story of today is Netta. I mean, if you don't know who Netta is, she was Israel's Eurovision winner in 2018 with her massive hit Toy. She's really a source of national pride for us, and even more so because after last night, she really schooled BDS in how to behave. So the story is this. Netta was performing in France on a show called Destination Eurovision, which is the show in France that chooses their contestant for Eurovision, which will take place in Tel Aviv later this year. And she was performing, and several BDS supporters ran onto the stage and tried to interrupt her. They were removed by security within at least 30 seconds. And Netta, the classy lady that she is, responded to this by choosing rather to address the contestants and say to them, "You are all so beautiful. You are giving the world the incredible gift of music." And that to me is how you do it, with class and with elegance and with a really cool song a la Netta. So that is today's edition of the Israel Brief. Join me again tomorrow for the latest news, updates and opinion from Israel. And just a reminder that if you like this, click on the subscribe button below to get the Israel Brief on a device near you. Share and like it, share with your friends, and don't forget to visit Lay of the Land at www.layoftheland.online. And comments and feedback is most welcome. We do have a question from one of our viewers. His name is Austin, and Austin, I promise you I'll have an answer for you on tomorrow's edition of the Daily Brief. I am Rolene Mark saying good night from Israel.